Hi students, in this video we're going to go over our topic six assignment, alternative assessments. For this assignment, you're going to be thinking of different ways to assess students aside from those traditional multiple choice or answer questions that we often see in the classroom. This is a great time for you to get creative and think about what projects students can do to demonstrate learning. There's a lot of opportunities to think about, technology integration, such as making a video or a movie trailer, making a play or acting something out, making a brochure, a PowerPoint presentation. There's a lot of ways students can demonstrate their learning without it having to be a paper pencil test. So this is your time to get creative. For this assessment, you're going to start by doing part one, which is the assessment. You're going to choose the state standard from your benchmark. And I created a template for this to kind of make this a little bit easier for you. And so you'll find the template attached in this week's announcement. And I went ahead and broke that into part one. And I just put those bullet points into a table for you. So you've got both the ELA and math standards from your benchmark and then your learning objective. You're going to develop a few formative assessment questions that assess prior knowledge, probe for understanding, or promote independent learning around this objective and standard. Then you're going to design an instructional a learning experience for students that is student-centered. So you're going to want them to be the one taking control of the learning, less teacher-led, less modeling, but students finding and looking and working together to find and learn with whatever that objective and standard is. And then finally, you're going to give me a description of that alternative assessment. These two boxes need to be very detailed. You need to explain exactly what the assessment is going to consist of, what students are going to be required to do. If I see something just like PowerPoint presentation, well, what do they have to put on their PowerPoint presentation as it relates to this objective in this standard? So you want to get really specific. If you're doing an ELA standard, tell me what book they're going to read or what they're writing about. Just get really specific. It's easier to write a plan around something very specific than very general. So it doesn't matter if you're really going to use this or not. If they're doing a reading standard, they need to have a book to read. So maybe they're going to read Charlotte's Web, and then they're going to create a slideshow presentation that talks about character differences because that's the standard I chose. So then you would explain on that slideshow, students are going to make a slide that explains the character traits of each of the characters in Charlotte's Web. And then they're going to compare and contrast the characters using images and things on their slideshow. And then they'll present to the class or whatever it may be. But give me a lot of detail here. That's what I'm looking for when I see this. Part two is your reflection. For the reflection, you're just going to answer those questions that we have, which is ethical issues related to students' progress data and how you can use it to promote growth and learning, and how you can be sure you are being ethical with the use of data in your classroom. I think the biggest concerns around ethics and data come to just sharing student information. Sometimes we talk about students in the teacher's lounge, or we are sharing their data with other people who really aren't involved in that child's education. And if it's not that child intervention teacher or special education teacher, if it's just a teacher friend you have in a different grade, you want to think about how are you ethically sharing information on students, and maybe sharing names wouldn't be appropriate, where you could talk about if you need help in thinking of it, how to support a student or whatever. You can just say, okay, I have a student who is, struggling with this and that. You can be discreet with names. And I think that's the biggest issues I often see around data. This includes like parent-teacher conferences, posting in the classroom, sharing data in front of the students. You have to be really cautious of if their names are on there, and if I'm showing data that should be private for only the child or the parents. Okay, So that's your final assignment for this course. It's been such a joy to learn right alongside with you. I hope you learned a lot in this course. Everything you did in this class will be applied in the other classes that you take throughout this program. So best of luck to you.